What's up, everybody? Friday, October the 8th, 2 days before NFL Sunday, week 5. Joe Verfara, Igor Henriquez, Rob DeSona. So what we're going to do now is we're going to give our top 5. We're going to get together with Brandon tomorrow, go through all of the games. But the 3 of us are going to give our 5 picks of the week. And I'm going to go back right now and look at our week 3 picks. And look at these week 4, my mistake, week 4, and go through the records there. So we'll start off with Rob. Rob went the New York sweep, got them both, New York and New York. Took Arizona. That was an L, right? Oh no, Zona covered. You went 3 for 3 so far. Rob, you got the Chargers, who ended up winning, and Seattle.
Yeah, he's 5 for 5. You got the clean fiver.
Wow,
you can't see me.
Rob gets the star for that one. Let's go to Igor. Igor had KC. He did cover. Miami did not.
No.
Washington did. They escaped with a win.
Yeah.
Baltimore covered, who, like I said, screwed me out of a lot of money at Denver. And Chicago and Fields ended up getting the cover there. So Igor 4 for 5, I believe.
Yeah.
Nice week. And I wish. So I did my own little promo on Sunday, and I went 3 for 3 there. I had the Jets against Tennessee, who I loved, and I took the 2 primetime games. And I hit both of those ones. I had the Pats covering. I was the only guy taking the Pats, and the Monday Nighters took the Chargers as well. So 3 for 3 there. But my picks here were Jets, Giants cover, New England cover, Chargers cover, and Pittsburgh did me dirty. So I went 4 for 5 too.
There you go.
Let's go to this week. Rob, will lead off with you. Give us your 5 games.
Yeah, this was a really tough one for me. I have San Fran as the first game. They are +5 right now, or 5.5, one of the two. Should we detail why, or just
get into your picks? Yeah, let me know you go through it.
Yeah, Arizona's coming off that big win. 61% of the money's on Arizona. The dog is 5-0-1 in the last 6 head-to-head between these two. It's a big number. I think that Kyle Shanahan's good in this spot, and I'm going to take the Arizona drop off, and I'll take San Fran +5 or 5.5.
Sounds good. It's at 5. We'll go through one, then we'll go through details. Igor, go for your first pick.
So my first pick, actually looking at particular elements here. Let's bring it up here real quick. I actually first thing that really caught my eye was I have the Cincy Green Bay game at 3.5 for Green Bay. I think, since he's been playing some good ball, I think Green Bay missing Jair Alexander in the secondary is going to be a big problem for them. So I'm going to take Cincy to cover that number. And I actually think they might even pull off the upset and might win the game. I think, the secondary in the Packers without Alexander is going to be a suspect. And I think Burrow is going to take advantage, and since he's going to at least cover. So I'm taking that one too as my first pick.
Since he's still a +3, so that's a good number to get it at if you still have it. The +3, I like that. And I kind of agree. I think that they might end up winning this game. The 3 is we talk about the fishy spread. It's a little bit fishy, right? A lot of people still look at Cincy and think, are they for real? If they win this game, albeit against the banged up Green Bay team, I think that they'll have a lot more believers. My first pick, I'm going to go and I'm going to take the Indianapolis Colts on the Monday night +7. I've been waiting to go against Baltimore. They've been covering and winning pretty much every week, despite, a very injured squad. I know they had the Monday or the Sunday night win. I think it was week 1. Was it against Kansas City, or week 2? But they ended up beating the Chiefs week 2. Yeah. And I just think that eventually this team has to run out for the Ravens. And I don't like them there with that 7 either. So I'm going to take the Colts. I think the Colts, to be honest, might end up winning this game. So the Colts are going to be my first pick. Rob, back to you.
I'm going to go back-to-back weeks with the New York Football Giants. I think these teams are a lot closer than we think. Giants had a more a positive yards per play, YPP, than Dallas. Dallas is 4-0 this year against the spread. And what happens with Dallas is you get these premium lines that you have to pay because they are a public team. So with that 4-0 against the spread, being a public team, I think the spreads are it's too big. It probably should be around 3 or 4. I'm getting a lot of value here. I'm going to take the Giants to cover the 7.
Sounds good. I like that number too. Igor, go ahead.
Yeah, actually, that's one of my picks. So I'm gonna stay with Rob on that one. I think these division games are usually hard fought, close contests, and the Giants just showed some moxie last week in coming back in New Orleans. So I think Dallas is in line for a bit of a letdown, and again, a close division game, probably a field goal game. I'll take the 7 points there.
Nice. I'm gonna go my next game to the AFC West, and I'm gonna take the Kansas City Chiefs in one of, to be honest, probably the game of the week.
Yeah,
Kansas
no
City, the
doubt.
spread, it was at 2.5. It's a Sunday nighter, a rematch of the AFC Championship from last week. Josh Allen going against Mahomes. Like I said, it was at 2.5. It's now at 3. Kansas City hasn't, like we talked about, it's been about a year and a bit that they haven't been good against the number. I think a lot of people are on the Bills in this one. They're buying the Bills, and rightfully so. They've been shutting out a lot of teams. Their offense after week 1 is really getting everything together. I think the Chiefs maybe win by a touchdown in this one. I'm going to go with the Chiefs there on the Sunday nighter. We're probably going to end up watching that. Hopefully, it should be a good one. So Chiefs -3, my second pick. And I guess Rob will go to you again for number 3.
All right, I'm gonna go with a bit of a shocker here. This is a really ballsy pick. This is what I'm gonna make just because I did really well last week. But I'm gonna take the Jacksonville Jaguars +4.5 against your boys, the Tennessee Titans. The under is 9-2 the last 11 meetings head to head between these two, which means that points are at a premium. Tennessee has a ton of injuries. We still don't know if AJ Brown's going to play and who
He's going to play. Julio's out. I just saw.
Julio's still out. Okay. Tennessee upcoming Buffalo, KC, Indy might be a bit of a look ahead spot. Jackson
win bad.
They do. Jacksonville though has all this turmoil coming around. I think they show up big for their coach. And 73% of the money I have right now on Tennessee. And whenever you get those big numbers, as we know, I'm going to go the other way. So that was the biggest reason why I'm taking a real big risk here, but I'll take Jacksonville.
For my next one, I'm going to go to Carolina. I have them right now as -4 favorites against Philly. I don't really believe in this Eagles team. I think, they're on a short week, got really decimated by the Cowboys. I think, the situation with them is that, again, I see a lot of holes in their game. And I think Carolina, who ended up, they didn't play Dallas last week. They came off a bad loss against Dallas, I think the week prior.
They had a Thursday nighter, I want to say, one of those games too.
Yeah, so they're very. I think that was the case, if I remember correctly. So the Monday nighter was Dallas against the Eagles, right?
Yeah. So the Jags. Sorry, I'll go. Yeah. So they beat the Texans on that Thursday. Who one of you guys took in Survivor? I believe it was Rob.
Yes. So yeah. Again, Carolina got a little bit decimated by Dallas, but I think that Philly isn't really for real. 4 points. I think Carolina's the much better team. I think they win by at least a touchdown. I think that's going to be my pick. I'm going to take Carolina -4.
All right. For my third pick, I can't believe I'm doing this, guys, but I'm taking the New York Jets. It was 3.5, was 3. It's at 2.5. And when the line drops that much, to be honest, it scares me. These London games, we talked about it. They're always garbage teams playing in them. You never see any good teams. It's a money grab for the NFL. They have to send over someone. It's a sacrificial lamb in this case with Atlanta and the Jets. I'm looking for Zach to have a better game here. Atlanta's defense, we've talked about it forever. Rob, you said you'll bet against them. I'm going to take your word this week because their defense is terrible. Tennessee's defense is terrible. And it looks like in these spots, the Jets at least look competent. And they definitely have the better defense over Atlanta. And I think they might even have some more weapons on offense. Calvin Ridley's going to be out. That's a big loss for them.
Yeah.
So that's why the number's dropping, but I'll take the Jets by 2.5. That's mine there. And Rob, what do you for number 4?
The Jets were my 6. It was them or Jacksonville, and I decided to go ballsy, but I like that Jets pick. My 4th pick, I'm going to do something I don't like doing. I'm going to swallow a shoot ton of points. I'm going to take Minnesota -10. It is a massive number, but Detroit has an absolute boatload of injuries. The favorite is 6-1. And the Lions are 1-6 against the spread against the Minnesota Vikings. The spread is so big that it's a little bit fishy for me.
It's ballooned. I feel like it was at 7.5 earlier.
Yeah, it's for a team like Minnesota that doesn't score a ton of points, or that we perceive as not scoring a ton of points. I think it's a really big number, which means there might be something up there. And Kirk Cousins is pretty much amazing. He's like Tom Brady in the 1 p.m. time slot. Yeah, like at 1 p.m., this guy is a machine. Any other time I bet against him. So at home, 1 p.m., I'll swallow a lot of points and take Minnesota.
But Igor, before we get to you, I just have a feeling these are those games with Detroit that kind of, if you're betting Detroit, I feel like these are the ones that there might be like a backdoor cover in them, like that 49ers game, the last one, like they lose by 9 or something like that. But yeah, this one's a coin flip as they all are. Igor, go ahead with number 4.
So for number 4, I'm going to go against one of your picks because I've been paying attention a lot to the Kansas City games, and that defense has been really, really bad. So I don't like, again, I've been on Kansas City the majority of the year. Again, this Bills team, they've been beating up on a lot of bad teams, but the Bills defense, I think, is for real. I think the Kansas City defense is going to have a lot of problems stopping Josh Allen in that offense. And I like the Bills to actually win the game. And if I'm getting 3 points and I think that the Bills will win the game, I'm going to take that simply on the fact that, yeah, I haven't seen a ton to like on that Kansas City D. And I think Josh Allen's gonna really rip him apart with the weapons that he has. So I think it won't be I don't think it'll be a shootout because I think the Bills defense is gonna cause Mahomes some problems. And then the Bills win the game. Again, I'm stunned that I think KC will have 3 losses by now, but with all the momentum, even though it's been against bad teams, I think the Bills finally make a statement, and the statement's going to be winning at Arrowhead.
I just think the atmosphere at Arrowhead on a primetime game like that, like I said, this is going to feel like a playoff game. I think that the defense is going to show up, right? And we talk about it every week. We talk about them. We say the defense can't get any worse. They can't get any worse. Eventually, just, the law of averages, they're going to have a good defensive game. But we're going to tune into this one next week and see exactly what happens. So I'll take you down there for Bills plus, 1 to 3. So you got the Bills plus 3. For my, I guess actually, Rob, we'll go to you. We let off with you. Go ahead. Pick 5.
You got to pick another one, don't you, Joe? You're at 3, no?
Oh, damn. Okay, so I already wrote my 5. I'm losing track here. So I got Cincy plus the 3.
Okay.
And like I said, with me, it's only because it's a little bit of a fishy line. I'm not sure what's going to happen here. The total's at 50.5. I don't know. Is T. Higgins back? Have you guys heard anything? Because I haven't seen anything yet. I think he's still questionable.
Yeah, I haven't heard anything on T. Higgins at all.
So if he's going, Brandon brought up last time, Jamar Chase. I think he's in the shotgun there for rookie of the year so far after a shaky preseason. Really, it's Aaron Jones, Devontae Adams, and Aaron Rodgers. Really, that's what their offense is. The tight end position. I saw that their tight end last week had another decent game, but they need other guys to step up. Since these defense is slowly coming around, home field there, I'll take those 3 points. I'll take them by 3. Rob, to you for pick 5.
Very sharp pick, but I don't know about that one. My last game, I'm going to take a bit of a tough game, but I'm going to take the New Orleans Saints -2 on the road. Typically, you shouldn't be taking short road favorites because it's just a lot of inspiration for the home team. It's a bit of a slight, so it's not the best thing, but Washington's been probably the most disappointing team for me in the league, or one of, if not the most. I have Daron Payne, Bostic, Allen, either questionable or out. And those are 3 very big pieces on their defense. New Orleans coming off a tough loss and Washington coming off a big win. And upcoming for Washington, if anything, KC, Denver, Green Bay, maybe a bit of a look at spot, but usually with bad teams, that's not a big influence. But I'm just going to take New Orleans to bounce back. I think we're going to see a trend of them having a good game, bad game, good game, bad game. And so this is just their good week.
Yeah, just look at their schedule right now. Like Patriots, they lost in week 1. They beat the Bengals. That's the Bengals' only loss. They lost to the Ravens 37-3 and lost to the Chargers. Oh, sorry, no, that was preseason. So those are their games right there. Sorry, I read the preseason. My mistake. Chargers, they lost. Giants, they won. Bills, they got dismantled. And then the Falcons, they beat. So the only teams they beat were the Giants, where at that point, both teams were 0-2, and they won by 1. And the Falcons, who might be the worst team in football. 60% of the money on the score app is going towards New Orleans, and no real surprise there. Washington, typically a better team at home. The spread's gone up to 2.5, Rob. So I got you at New Orleans by 2.5. Igor, pick 5.
Yeah, I mean, I like Rob's pick there with New Orleans, but I'm gonna actually go on a bit of a limb with mine. I think watching that Bills Texans game. Looking at the Texans quarterback Mills, he's going to go up against a Bill Belichick defense where he's going to throw all sorts of different things at the young kid. I don't know if that's going to end well for him. I think Mac Jones showed a lot of poise last week against the Bucs, and Again, I think that Bills D is going to come to play and Judon and so forth. So I don't think the Texans can keep up with them. I think I have it at 9. I don't know if that's the number you currently have going.
Drop
But
to 8.
drop the 8. I mean, I'll take the 8 points there because I just don't see, I don't see him having a good game. Bill usually eats those kind of quarterbacks for breakfast, so I'm going to take the homer pick and take my Patriots with the 8 points to cover the spread.
Not bad. All right, so I'll recap, give my pick, and then we'll recap the picks. My 5th pick, I was torn between 2 of them. The one that I'll leave out, which I do like, is Rob's pick, San Fran +5. I do like that, but I'll leave it out. I'm going to go with the Chargers -2.5, only because it's a big game. Chargers are at home, coming off a big win against the Raiders. Guess we can call it a short week. They play on the Monday night. Their defense looks incredible. My guy, Justin Herbert, incredible. Mike Williams, Keenan Allen, like they're all just clicking. And the Browns are going to go on the road for back-to-back weeks and play another tough opponent. Last week was Minnesota, not necessarily tough, but a 14-7 win. Their defense really carried them. I want to see how the Browns defense does against a team like the Chargers. I like this here. To me, really, it's just the Chargers to win the game at 2.5. I think this team, Igor, if you have the Bills winning, this is really where the Chargers could take the driver's seat in that division. If they win this game, big things for them. I'll take the Chargers by 5.
Yeah, I mean, it came out I think yesterday that Baker Mayfield's got like a torn labrum and stuff like that.
His other shoulder, yeah.
His other shoulder, so he's literally like one hit away from really being put out.
Yeah.
So
which might be better for the Browns, right? Like I don't know who their backup.
I don't even know who the backup of the Browns is, but yeah, I mean, like based off that, I mean, I think that's a solid pick there. Definitely, it was in my consideration for my 5.
Case Keenum and Nick Mullins backup quarterbacks.
That's not gonna fly. Well, I mean, Case hasn't been terrible. He's had some decent games when he was in the Vikings and so forth. But yeah. I mean, to me, he's a career backup. But he might be better than a one-armed Baker Mayfield.
But is Baker Mayfield at this point not a career backup?
Like I said,
right, let's recap the picks. Then Igor has Cincy +3, Giants +7, Carolina -4, Bills +3, New England +8. Rob's got. Rob, I wrote down Arizona, but you have San Fran. So San Fran +5, Giants +5, Jacksonville +4.5, Mini -10, and New Orleans -10.5. New Orleans -2.5, my mistake. I have Indy +7, KC -3, the Jets +2.5, Cincy +3, and the Chargers -2.5. Any last thoughts before we wrap up this 5-pack pod?
I'm excited. There's a lot of go either way games this week, especially that Buffalo KC. I'm excited. I'm torn on that game.
Yeah, that'll be a bit again. I think the Bills, if they lose it, it won't hurt them as much because I think that the division's been terrible, especially Miami, who was supposed to really be in there, and New England hasn't been that great either. But yeah, if KC loses, that's a heavy blow because they, like you said, the Chargers. The Raiders, even the Broncos. If the Broncos beat Pittsburgh, it puts KC in a nice, big hole.
And then we're talking about.
I actually want Rob's thoughts on that game. I would assume you're probably leaning Broncos a little bit on that.
I think I was. Let me just pull up my notes on that.
Gun to my head, I would have to take the Steelers, but I'd probably
say it's like a 1.5 spread, right? So it's basically
one.
Yeah, I'm taking Denver. We just had Pittsburgh's number, but maybe this is the one year where Pittsburgh's not supposed to win that they do win. Yeah. But yeah, that's we could be talking about KC not even making the playoffs if they lose that game on Sunday night.
That'd be fun.
And you know what nobody's talked about, man? That O-line. I'd be more worried about the KC O-line than anything because that O-line is
rebuilt
bad. Yeah, well, it's going to take some time. It's going to take some time.
I mean, they did, but they did get they did bring in a lot of rookies and stuff like that too. So I mean, like I said, I mean the offensive threats will always be there and so forth. But yeah, I've just been really disappointed with Spagnuolo's defense, and again, they really haven't faced a team with the Bills' number of weapons. I think the Baltimore situation, they don't throw the ball a ton. So yeah, but the Bills are pretty well versed all over the place. So it'll be the biggest test that they've had so far. So we'll see how.
But the Bills are also a different team on the road, right? That's another thing. At home, they're dominant.
That's true. Like I said, they have that bad bad Steelers loss, but like I said, I don't know. It'll really It could be a shootout, but I don't know. I think that Bills defense is going to cause some trouble, but we'll see. Like I said,
It is. And the only thing I was going to say about the Bills, like obviously lost week 1, but you look at who they played since, man, and like they've blown teams out.
absolutely.
Dolphins 35-0. That we talked about that game, right? Like that was pretty much a 7-7 game when they went for it, missed it. Washington at home 43-21, and the Texans. Like those are three
Bad
of
team.
the bottom 10 teams probably in football, right?
I like that Chargers pick, man. That's
Yeah, that's, you know,
the if you go look at the Cleveland injury list, it is a disaster. I think their whole O-line is injured. And if their whole O-line is out, I am going to smash the Chargers. Smash.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I like it too.
That's
Like
why
you said,
took
there's
it,
a
I
lot
guess.
of games there between like two. I would say at least a quarter of the slate are like 1 to 3 point spreads.
yeah. I
So
mean,
you
like I
could-
said, it's coming down to a time where, you know, you're entering almost the midpoint of the season in a couple of weeks that, yeah, some of these games are a real make or break for a lot of teams. So
Which, you know what? Now that I did it, let me ask you guys if you take a second. With all these tight games, who would your survivor pick be for this week?
Oh shoot. I didn't even do mine.
if I could pick anybody,
Yeah, like within reason, right? Like don't take a 10-point favorite, but yeah, like let's say
Okay.
that, yeah, just if you had to pick a game that's a little bit tight, who would you go with?
hmm. So that's actually that's a good question. If a tight game,
I'd probably go with
I'd probably go Carolina.
I'm gonna go because I'm not a big fan of Carolina this week. I'm gonna go with ballsy pick. I would probably go with New Orleans. I think
I was thinking you were gonna say that's tough on the road in Washington too. Like
yeah, I it's tough. It'd be a tough week to
it's a tough
Like-
week for Survivor, regardless of who you have available, right? Like the only, I guess, like Tampa might be the safest pick if you had to
Even-
pick one game.
yeah, even Minnesota is like it's a divisional game, so we
That's
don't
what I
know.
mean,
Yeah, it'd be a tough
Even
week.
Tampa, though, if you look at that secondary is completely depleted. Like I was thinking about taking Miami. I just can't trust what they've done to be able to. But like that secondary for Tampa is really.
I was
really
trying to
banged up.
build a case for taking Miami against the spread, and the only case that I have for them really is that I don't think that they've covered. Oh, sorry, week 1 they covered against the Patriots. They lost 35-0 to the Bills, 31-28 against the Raiders, which was a terrible cover. We talked about.
Yeah.
We were going back and forth, terrible cover. And then the Colts, they lose by 10, when to be honest, like they were at home and they were never really in the game.
So the super sharp play is Miami. Like they're a sharp pick this week. The only problem is that I've bet on Miami the last 2 weeks and Tampa the last 2 weeks, and they both let me down. And usually it's the spot to bet on them again. Yes, the odds of them not covering 3 weeks in a row.
Can you guys see
But
the
they're
Bucks
playing each other.
losing, though? I was going to say the cover is one thing. Can you see them losing at home to Miami?
No, they'd be a good survivor pick. I think the other one that nobody's talking about, the only problem is everybody's on them is Vegas. Like they got
Against
70% of,
Chicago?
yeah, they got 70% of the money. I think Vegas is like Chicago's offense is awful. I think it's let me be Brandon here. Matt Nagy stinks. And you know, so Chicago, their offense is awful. I was gonna take the Vegas on the spread, but I mean 70% of the action
It
is
seems
on
like a
them.
trap. Yeah, to be honest,
Yeah.
I would probably go Chicago. I think that maybe they, lose by a field goal or something like that.
They've got and their offense is awful. Like by far the 32nd in the league. They can't pass the ball. And I think Vegas is bounced back, but there's too much money on Vegas to go with them.
Yeah, I mean they're away from Soldier Field. They're definitely a different team, and again that Raiders defense with the pass rush is going to give Fields some issues. So, yeah, I mean I think Chicago probably wins that. Vegas probably wins that game pretty handily. But again, it's a tough short week. It's a
You
little
would think
bit.
that spread would probably be at something like a 7, right? I feel like a 7 would be a good number.
Well, I mean the Bears won pretty convincingly last week, but it was against the
They
Lions.
played the
So,
Lions and they won by 10.
I don't know. Yeah, it's
Fishy. I'm starting to smell. I smell that fish.
All right, boys, I guess we'll wrap it up for this one. We're going to try and get together tomorrow we will get together with Brandon and we'll go through every game on the slate. So we'll post this one and then we'll also do tomorrow. So for Rob, Igor, and Joe, we will chat with you guys tomorrow. Have a good one.